We have grown used to a strange kind of biological solitude. Today, 7 billion of us share the planet, and yet we are the only human species left. 100,000 years ago, the map looked very different. Earth was a crowded place, home to at least half a dozen distinct human species hunting and surviving across the same continents. Look at this Neanderthal skull. The elongated shape and heavy structure tell the story of a species that had already thrived in the harsh climates of Europe for hundreds of thousands of years. Here is Homo naledi. They possessed a thick brow ridge and an ancient facial structure, yet they survived deep within the dark, narrow cave systems of Africa. We find evidence for others in fragments, like this jawbone. It belonged to our cousins on the islands of Indonesia and in the high mountains of Asia, isolated populations that had carved out their own corners of the world. By 30,000 years ago, every one of these diverse populations had vanished from the fossil record. This layout of fragmented bone is all that remains of lineages that lasted for millennia. We have to ask why. Did our ancestors hunt them to the brink? Did the climate turn too fast for them to adapt? Tracking their movements through time requires looking past these physical ruins and into the molecular code of our own bodies. To understand the disappearance, we track our own expansion. As Homo sapiens migrated out of Africa, our routes intersected directly with territories Neanderthals had held for generations. Territorial overlaps certainly led to local conflicts. However, small-scale violence in one region cannot explain why multiple species disappeared globally and nearly simultaneously. The ice cores provide a different clue. These layers record the climate of the Pleistocene, a period of rapid, violent temperature swings that could turn a forest into a tundra in a single lifetime. Specialization became a trap. Neanderthals had stocky, powerful bodies built to retain heat in the cold, but that biology made them vulnerable when the environment shifted too quickly for them to evolve. Homo sapiens were generalists. We lacked extreme physical adaptations to the cold, which actually allowed us to remain flexible as the world changed around us. Our secret was a social one. These stone tools show a variety of styles and materials, evidence that our ancestors were exchanging ideas and resources across hundreds of miles. Relying on a social network is more effective than relying on a specific body type. If the climate shifted, we didn't wait for our biology to change. We simply traded for a better tool. The investigation moved from the cave dirt to data in the lab. Ancient DNA sequencing allows us to read the history hidden inside these bones. The genetic data shows that our encounters with other species weren't limited to competition. When our populations met, we interbred. This was a process of genetic assimilation. Small groups of Neanderthals and Denisovans were absorbed into the migrating populations of Homo sapiens. Over generations, their distinct genetic markers became diluted. Their lineage didn't end, it merged into ours. View extinction through this lens, and the story changes. The disappearance looks less like a violent ending and more like a biological integration. Demographic math suggests that a large, mobile population will naturally overwhelm an isolated one over time, eventually folding that smaller group's history into its own. Our survival came down to 3 things: the flexibility to survive climate shifts, the social networks to share technology, and the sheer numbers to genetically absorb our cousins. Humanity's progress relied on a capacity for connection, a specific ability to trade ideas and integrate with different groups across vast distances. This means those lost human species are still here. Their physical forms are gone, but their genetic code remains active within us today. Modern immune systems carry Neanderthal reinforcements to help fight off viruses. In the Himalayas, people carry a Denisovan gene that allows their blood to manage oxygen efficiently at high altitudes. Modern humans are the product of these ancient mergers, a single lineage carrying the remnants of every species we encountered along the way.